before you write something great, you have to write something good. But before you can write something good, you have to write something okay. Before you write something okay, you have to write something bad. And before you write something bad, you have to write something terrible. But before you can even write something terrible, you have to write anything at all. I read a kind of a confluence of things recently in my studies, and one, was talking about how the first draft is always the hardest because like you're looking at if you're writing, it's the blank page. If you're making music, it's the blank DAW. If you're skiing and about to hit a jump, it's the unknown of what might happen that first time. Once you've done it, you can be like, oh, okay, I see what worked there and what didn't work there. Let me tweak it. But just getting that first draft out there. And I think a lot of the problem, like I've seen with a lot of music producers, including myself, is this worry that your first draft has to be some sort of masterpiece, especially like your first draft earlier in your career, where it's like, no, just show up and write the shitty songs. We've talked about this on the podcast too. Like, and I heard it really well put reading something the other day in Jim Edwards' book, Copywriting Secrets, that I got right here. He said, before you write something great, you have to write something good. But before you can write something good, you have to write something okay. Before you write something okay, you have to write something bad. And before you write something bad, you have to write something terrible. But before you can even write something terrible, you have to write anything at all. Just write the first draft. And then look at it and be like, okay, what do I keep?
Yeah.
Yeah. Talk about drafts. Like, how many times have you had to try to write like your bio? That's one for me. I'm just like, dude, how do I describe this? I see other bios that are amazing, and then I'm just like, all right, I'm going to take a stab at it. And each time it gets a little better, a little more accurate, maybe a little more objective, instead of trying to like be like this lavish description of everything and fit everything about your, your art and your music into this like 4 sentences, but, or whatever. But yeah, I love that having the building, and it's the same. It's like you build templates. Like for me with video editing and stuff too, it's like the videos just consistently get a little bit better, start to get better tricks and stuff. And you start to have like a better starting point from where you start to begin. You're like, all right, the first video was crap, but like this video is a little better. I kind of like it. I always feel like that. My beats way back, and people would say, oh, those beats are sick. And I was like, nah, they're not very good. I don't like them yet. I like the stuff that I'm using in them, but they're not coming out how like the other music sounds. But I think that's what, separates the really greats from just the talented, and those who have kind of just thrown the towel in, is that just continuing to go for it. Like there's no actual peak that you can climb up to and reach. You're going to keep going up if you just keep trying.
100%. Being comfortable in your own failure is so important, and something that like I'm still fucking terrible at. Like I take that shit wet. Like I always have way too much of a fear barrier to failure on any new project or anything, any sound that's like new and different. Like it doesn't matter what it is. It's a hard barrier to overcome, even for someone with skill. So it's important for everyone, new, old, just starting out, 10 years in the game, to recognize that is difficult for everyone, and to be comfortable in those failures, knowing you gave 100% and learning from it and growing is going to make your path up that infinite mountain so much more direct. Rather than hypothesizing on what the perfect thing is going to be, you have to create and then iterate to find what that perfect thing is going to be. You're never able to hypothesize what perfect will look like, because there's just no way to do it.
Yep. You don't know what's going to be successful. You don't know what people are going to like, hands down, be like the hit, like what's going to go viral. Never know what it's going to be, but so you got to just keep showing up and taking the shot, right?
Ties back into that idea of drafting you brought up. Like, so true for everything. You could take the most complex piece of work and break it down to its few core motifs. And you realize, oh, all these like little fluttery notes and added melodies and counter melodies and blah, 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 all stem from this 3 or 4 note motif, you know? And when you start viewing when you start viewing it as a very strong core foundational idea, which you're then doing drafts upon and adding to that, and even better, taking away from and leaving space open. When you go through those stages of drafts, that's when you come up with the best ideas. But if you're constantly worried about like, I can't play, I'm not gonna play anything dope, or I'm just not feeling it right now, I can't come up with something cool. Well, come up with something not cool, and then make it like meh, and then make it like, oh, okay, that's it, and then it's cool.
Yeah.
Amen. I like it. What's up, humans? It's Luke, your friendly neighborhood trap Jesus. Thank you so much for watching our videos. We appreciate you. Remember to like and subscribe to our channels. And if you have any questions or topics that we need to cover on the show, put them in the comments. Appreciate you. Peace and peace among worlds.